Hi, we're back.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Debbie and Kim Show.
Real people, real talk.
From
From
challenges
challenges
to
to
wisdoms,
wisdoms,
conversations
conversations
that
that
heal,
heal,
inspire,
inspire,
and
and empower.
empower. We are so happy to be back
We
today.
are.
How was your day today?
It was wonderful.
Fabulous,
We'll tell
fabulous.
you the secret to that too.
Yes. Hey, blessed and highly favored we are.
Right. Yes.
So, today's podcast, we're going to talk about communication and self love and how they connect. Right, Kim?
Yes.
Oop.
Yes. How they connect. And I know, we know you want to know this. So listen up.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with the communications, the definition of communication. Communication is the process of sharing information, thoughts, and feelings through verbal and non-verbal and written methods. Not just what we say, but how we listen and understand others.
So key. Oh my goodness. How we listen and understand others. Keep that in mind because we're gonna dig into this as we get into this. Go ahead.
Self-love, valuing and caring for yourself by recognizing your worth, setting healthy boundaries, and practicing self compassion.
Yes, that's so critical.
Now,
And, mhm,
I'm sorry, I didn't
no,
mean to interrupt, but
okay.
also we want to talk about what self love is and what self love isn't. What it is respecting your needs, nurturing your well being, and celebrating your strengths.
Hmm.
Now, what it isn't, selfishness, arrogance, or neglecting others. And I think it's again important to know those
Yes,
distinctions.
definitely, definitely. I hope you're listening because we've got some great, if any of this that has been said is not clear or you're not sure or you've got some issues with it, we're going to unpack all that here today. So,
And we're going to talk about how the way we talk to ourselves, our self talk, impacts how we communicate with others.
yeah, our relationship with ourself sets the tone, conditions, conveys, relates, radiates, or broadcasts how to treat us. We tell other people how to treat us. So if we feel like we're not being treated the way we would like to be treated, it starts here. We're the ones who let people know how to treat us, even if they don't treat themselves well.
And we look, it seems that poor communication often comes from that lack of self awareness, low self esteem. So it is very, very, very important that we love ourselves, and that we like ourselves as well, because the way the way you speak to yourself influences how other people interact with you.
Absolutely. This has been my journey. I actually I published a book about this very thing because it was my journey. I had a not a good relationship with myself, and I think I realized that through those 2 marriages. That's what they taught me. And so here's what I learned, or I'll just, say that I didn't have a high estimation of myself. I used to question everything I did and go and second guess it and wish I hadn't done it and dog, I shouldn't have done that. But I tell you what, when I recognize that everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to for the good of everyone involved, that changed everything for me with respects to second guessing myself and even questioning the things that I've done or feeling or blaming myself or beating myself up for things that I did that didn't go the way, or didn't the outcome was like not what I would have wanted, and other people's have are blaming me for outcomes that, that I may or may not have had control over or influence.
Now, I don't think I mentioned this to you before, but as you're growing up, sometimes other kids can be cruel or hurtful, and sometimes even your own family can say things that I don't think they meant it that way. It was like tough love. So, you know, um, you ain't prettier than anybody else or whatever.
Oh,
And again, it wasn't meant derogatory, but if
it wasn't meant to hurt us
right, it was meant to strengthen our character, but sometimes it worked in the opposite direction.
a lot of the
A
time.
lot of the times it was like,
Most of
"Oh,
the time.
so you don't think I'm pretty?" That's what we hear. You don't think I'm pretty? Or uh body shaming. Oh, skinny legs and all. Look at those skinny legs. Oh, I have skinny what's wrong with having skinny legs?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah,
Any
and
well, anybody who had, even if you didn't have skinny legs, if somebody's legs were bigger than yours, then they considered yours to be skinny. And the thing is, we grew up with so much criticism. Criticism, uh, just speaking poorly, it's more than criticism, I wanna say, just
again, like we were saying before, it wasn't out of really they weren't trying to be hurtful.
not necessarily, not
No,
some,
they more or less
most.
were
We're not, but some were trying to be hurtful. People hurt because they're
yeah,
hurting.
people hurt because they're hurting. And so a lot of times that stuff gets internalized, you know, or I remember somebody called me tomato bump face because I think we all go through puberty
Uh-huh.
and we have acne and we break out. And that was the most dreadful thing that I ever heard, to say I had a tomato bump face
Kids can be
because
so
I
cruel.
ate tomatoes and that's how it reacted.
Oh, it's an allergy.
But that too is a form of communication, not positive communication, but it's still a form of communication.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And when we look at that and when we think about that, and as we grow older, how we see ourselves, how that self-love reflects on our relationships with other people, our conversations with other people. If some if some people have had a really hard day and they're mean and nasty, that reflects in the conversation when you sometimes you don't even want to walk up to them because they have that posture of I don't want to be bothered. So don't even step.
And even that right there, we can internalize that as rejection, or as we're not good enough or worthy to be in their presence. W- there is so much damage that has been done through the generations. We came into this world with a lot of this damage. And so this, I believe, is the time and generation to heal that. And again, I want to reiterate this right here, that everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to for the good of everyone involved. When we understand this in the context that we're spirit beings here to have a human experience, to grow in the evolution of love, everything is for that purpose. And so this is all about learning. And I really want to take away any negative stigma, any negative reflections, because where we are right now is exactly where we're supposed to be. We're perfect for our purpose for being here. And that's the important thing that I wanted to reinforce, that yeah, we were damaged by our parents, or we were damaged by this teacher or this person, all these people who were hurting and hurt us. But we're in the mode of healing now, I believe.
And I think it took a while for me come to the realization or know about self-reflecting and self-love, um, there there have been times when, I would say, "Yeah, I know I look good. I know I look good," but really on the inside, I was trying to convince myself that I look good,
Can
you
I
know?
say something here? This is absolutely common. I mean, this is where you're ahead of many people. You're ahead of most people. Most people are still thinking that they're not worthy, not even trying to tell themselves they're not good enough. If they do, it's just like a facade. They don't even really believe it. And they're not even trying to help themselves believe it. They just think that they have to put up this facade because they really are not worthy. They're not good enough. But that is not true. And I want to say this: we are growing in this, and everybody's at a different stage,
Each.
and it's okay. Whatever stage you're at, it's okay. And and as the type of coach I am, an emotional healing coach, and I mean I'm a certified in that, several certifications. But one of the things that I do is to help people actually take that internal energy that says that they're not good enough, not worthy, or whatever those damaging things that they received as a child or as a young person, impressionable, and heal that. That sometimes we need professional help with that because it's in there and we don't know how to get it out. You can't sometimes you really have to tell yourself, like, all day, every day, before yourself will believe it. And so I have some exercises that I do with my clients that literally in the moment transform that energy. And that's uh, one of the things that I use for that is emotional freedom technique. And I have some videos on the site that can show you how to do that if you want to do it yourself, or you can come and see me.
A lot of times, again, how we feel about ourselves is reflected in the conversations that we have with people. Um, it took a while. I'm the oldest of 6, so, you always had to be the example.
I'm the oldest of six, too.
Yeah, so you had to be the example. So, but I've learned as I've gotten older, as I've had children, words hurt. So you have to be very careful about what you say to your children, what you say to your siblings, because words hurt, and once they're out, you cannot take them back. I work very hard at this point in my life to be extremely encouraging to myself, to give myself positive affirmations
Yes.
every day. I make it a ritual.
And that's really how you do it. I mean,
Yes.
because if we're gonna be kind to others, we have to start with ourselves. So what you just said is critical. That's where everybody starts, is
Mhm.
with in the mirror with yourself. Because when you can be kind to yourself, now you can be kind to others. That's the only way. Because if you try to be kind to others and you're not being kind to yourself, that's just not sustainable. It's not gonna work.
We have a question.
Mhm.
We're trying to spark some reactions from you guys so that you will answer this. You don't have to answer it right now, but think about it and put it in our comments. What is one phrase you could start saying to yourself daily to build your self-love, to build your confidence? My daughter sent me something and I love it. And we have to it comes from the song from Mary J. Blige, and it's Good Morning Gorgeous. It is a wonderful, wonderful song. If you get up in the morning, the first thing you do is look in the mirror and say, Good morning, gorgeous. And that's how you start your day. Good morning, gorgeous. And even if you want to find her song and play that every morning when you get up and you look at it. And it makes you feel so much better. It gives you so much more confidence. And yes, you may have to do it a couple of times in order to really get the benefit, in order to really, because I know my sister will say to me sometimes, oh, that wishy-washy stuff, it don't always work. If you continue to do it every day,
Yeah, it may feel uncomfortable
yeah.
initially, but the thing is, and even if you don't even feel it or believe it, the saying it, speaking it is energy that you're giving to yourself, and that it does sink in. Your body needs to hear that. And so keep saying it, and eventually you will start believing it,
Hmm.
and you will start feeling it, and you'll see the difference. It is effective.
And also step out the door. When you step out the door and you run into somebody, have a smile on your face. Everyone's natural tendency, if I smile at you, your tendency is to smile back at me.
Hmm.
And that starts a beautiful day.
It does.
Starts a
It's
beautiful day.
great energy for the person who's smiling and the person you're smiling to. It immediately it's energy. It's an energy exchange, and it is probably one of the best ways to love ourselves and others is with that smile. I have many times put posts out about the effects of a smile. It releases endorphins in us. It instantly changes our mood. We cannot feel bad or think negative when we have a smile on our face, if it's a genuine smile and we're not a fake one. And it helps us. It boosts our immune system. So if you're not feeling good, smiling helps your body to do its work of its healing work to heal itself. It's not the only thing that you need to do. I mean, you may need to do more than that, of course, but smiling is going to help. And frowning can do the opposite.
Well,
so
they
s-
say it takes more muscles to frown than to smile. So they say. I don't know exactly where that is. I can't quote, but I know that's what
well,
they said.
we know that the smile is good
Well,
for us and good for the world.
and with communication as well, when you're talking to people and you want them to you want them to know, and you want that's just reciprocal, I guess, partnership when you're communicating with people, that you're listening to what they're saying and that they're listening to what you're saying.
Can I say something about listening?
No. Of course you can. You gotta throw some levity. I didn't want us to be too serious. Go
I know.
ahead.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to inject here that when we listen, I want to just talk about feelings for a minute because our feelings get in the way of our listening a lot of
Mhm.
times because we're feeling something maybe about what they're saying, and we're not really allowing ourselves to hear what they're saying. So just think about that. Recognize that we want to hear what they're saying, what they're trying to convey, because our feelings can just take it to a whole nother place. And we could get our feelings hurt, which is ours. They didn't hurt our feelings. Our feelings were hurt because of how we thought about what they said, what we thought about what they said. So we want to listen without judgment of what they're saying. Listen to understand and not so much to try to be understood. Unless we're talking, then of course we want to be understood. But when we're listening, we want to understand what the person is saying.
And then when we're listening or when we're trying to listen, we're giving them our full attention and we're not thinking about, okay, when are they going to be finished speaking so I can start talking? And so then therefore you know, you might you might be listening, but you're not
Because you're waiting for your turn.
because you're waiting for your turn to say something.
And can I just say something about conversation etiquette? This is in Conversations. Now I don't remember the name of the book. I should have had it ready here because we're talking about communication. But when we're having a conversation, it's best to speak for less than 5 minutes. Otherwise, we do lose the person. But we want to speak for less than 5 minutes. It's like 30 seconds is probably a good amount of time to speak before the other person can say something.
And I'm a talker. That's unfortunately that or fortunately, that is something that I need to work on because a lot of times I need to listen more. Again, what they say, they give you 2 ears and only 1 mouth, so you would listen more instead of talking more. But I'm guilty of that, and I recognize it, and it's something that I have to work on when I carry on a
Ah,
conversation.
I'm
But
there
and
too.
then body language. Body language is key, and I'm a people watcher, so I watch other people's conversations, and I watch their body language, and sometimes you can tell when someone is extremely excited, and you can also tell in their body whether they're extremely frustrated or angry because there's such a
Tension.
tension and
Yeah, you
tense
can
look
feel
in
it.
their face. You can feel that. So again, communication is verbal, nonverbal, and through our body language. And so we need to be honest with that.
At
Or
this
have that.
point, I just want to inject about what other people, let's say a person is angry or frustrated or whatever they are, that has nothing to do with you. What other people think, say, feel, do is not your business. You can be sensitive, you can be compassionate, you can be kind, you can be understanding, you can be all of those things are being loving. But you do not have to be responsible. In fact, it's not your responsibility. Like I said, it's not your business. If it didn't come from you, it's not about you.
Well, that's true. But there are times when we feel that we need to have these conversations and we don't have them because again, just as just you said it perfectly, but we don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. We want to say something, but we want to say it in a way that we want to get it off our chest, but we feel that if we say this, they are going to be upset with us.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes they are upset with us. But if so we can ask ourselves, is what we're going to say to them kind? Is it true? Is it necessary to say it? Do they need to hear it? Is it going to benefit them in some way? Even if they're going to get angry with you. We don't want to say or not say something to someone because we're afraid that of their response, because their response is on them.
But
And
do
if
we
we
also,
go ahead.
excuse me,
Hmm.
but do we also have to watch the way that we say it? Do we have to,
Sure.
um, I don't, for lack of a better word, pull back when we're talking or even if, like, again, body language, if you see them tensing up when we're talking to them about this conversation,
Yeah.
should we step back from the conversation and let them say something? How do we handle that?
Yeah, exactly. The important thing that I want to stress is we are not responsible for how another person feels or how they interpret what we're saying. What we can do is be very clear about our intentions, why we're saying what we're saying, and also make it clear that this is how I feel or this is what I think. So, what you're saying is about you. How they receive it, how they interpret it is about them. And, sometimes it is even beneficial to make that known because most people don't know that. And that could actually diffuse a lot of misunderstandings and misinterpretations and reactions when, we can just let them know, you know what, I have something that's on my heart that I need to share. Now, this is how I feel. Has nothing to do with you. You didn't do anything to make me feel this way because how you feel comes from you and how I feel comes from me. So we can't take responsibility for each other's feelings, okay? For anybody else's feelings.
So it's good to say that good communication doesn't mean we're being perfect, but it does mean that we're being authentic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes being authentic, people don't want to hear it. So we
Well,
have to understand that.
if we know they don't want to hear it, I think that our having the compassion and the consideration, knowing that they don't want to hear it, we can be very clear about our motive for sharing whatever it is with them and what we hope to to happen as a result of that. I think as we communicate authentically, we will become better communicators because we will recognize how people may or may not receive what we're saying and will be clearer communicators to let people know in no uncertain terms that they didn't necessarily do anything wrong. Okay, we are not the judge of someone's actions, right or wrong. We can be the judge of whether it served us or not served us, whether it was healthy for us or not healthy for us, whether we're going to tolerate listening to such or not. And we don't even have to tell them that we're not going to tolerate that unless you want to continue that conversation. But sometimes that doesn't elicit a good reaction. You can just say, I'm not going to continue this conversation as long as you're going to express yourself in that way. I want to hear what you say. I care about how you feel. However, I'm not going to subject myself to that language if they're using, foul language or language that's offensive.
So I guess that gets into boundaries. What boundaries do you set in relationships to actually, again, boundaries, they aren't walls. They're just the bridge to healthier relationships. And it lets people know what you're gonna, I guess, what you're tolerating, what you're not gonna tolerate.
I like the
Yeah,
bridge to healthier relationships because that's exactly what it is. Although it may seem like a boundary is a wall, what a boundary is, it actually is you. It's what you will and won't do,
accept.
accept.
Yeah,
Exactly. I wanted to give it an example of a boundary versus something else. A person, your friend called you, maybe they were doing it all the time and wanting you to either do something that you probably at one point you did it and it was no problem, but at some point you felt like you realized this is not serving you. In fact, my saying yes to that person is me saying no to myself. And so I've decided I'm going to say no to that person and yes to myself. That's a boundary. And you don't have to, you can do it with kindness. You can say, no, I'm not going to do that. And that's it. And, yeah, sure, have fun. I'm sure you'll find somebody else who will do it. You don't have to do all that, but you can. It is not bad.
well, we want to talk about some takeaways um that that we can give to you guys, and that is practicing positive self-talk. That is journaling your needs and rehearsing expressing your boundaries kindly. Again, I look at myself in the mirror and I say today's going to be a good day, and it's all in, this is what I want. Positive self-talk. You're confident. Everybody that you speak to is, they're gonna be warm and friendly towards you. It may happen, it may not happen, but that's your attitude for
And
the
that's the
day,
energy
and
that you're
that's it.
putting out. And it'll
Yeah,
probably will attract that.
yeah.
And uh, there was the thought that came to me and it just
It went
went out.
out.
But
Yeah, I
that's
know how
okay.
that
That's
is.
okay.
Yeah,
We have some really good things to share with you. The four agreements, and to number one, be impeccable with your word. Is it going to be that 100? Absolutely, it's not. But it's on us. It's nobody else's fault, and no one needs to be blamed. It just is something that we're always improving on, and not to take anything personal. What other people think, say, or do, it's not our business. Uh, how we react to it, that is our business. That is, again, what comes from us. And don't make assumptions, because we know that, what is it? Assuming ASSUME, it makes an ass out of you and me, right?
Mhm.
And then,
Uh-oh.
finally, always do
Do
your
your
best. And guess what? You are always doing your best. So acknowledge that, because our best is always changing. And I have a free gift for you. If you will go to heartjoytoday.com, and I'll put the link in the description. You can get 101 ways to give love to yourself. It's not selfish. 101 ways to give love to yourself. It's not selfish. That's absolutely free. You can go on my site and download it. And while you're there, if you want to pick up the copy of the book, The Ultimate Self-Love Guide and Journal, it will be there as well. And we just want to say,
Well, what we want to say is that the way we communicate with ourselves set the tones for how we communicate with others. We invite your comments, questions, and again, suggestions for our next podcast. However, communication is ongoing. So if you communicate with us, we'll communicate with you. And this is just the first part of the series in communications. So,
relation.
yes. So we want to say thank you for tuning into the Debbie and Kim show.
And remember, each of you is perfect for your purpose for being here now.
And don't forget to
Like,
like,
subscribe,
subscribe,
and comment.
We love
to hear
hearing
from
from
you.
you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.